All right, welcome. Today, we're going to unlock a really important piece of cloud security. We're putting two heavyweights head to head, AWS Key Management Service and Azure Key Vault. We're going to break down exactly how you can choose the right digital guardian for your most sensitive data.
So, as we keep pushing more and more of our critical applications and our data into the cloud, security becomes just absolutely essential. We encrypt everything, right? Our databases, our storage, our communications, all to keep bad actors out.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. All that amazing encryption is pretty much useless if the keys themselves aren't protected. So the real question becomes, how do you protect the very things that are doing the protecting?
Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand this, we've got to start with the core technology at play here, Key Management Services.
A key management service, or KMS, is basically the digital guardian for your keys. Think of it as handling the entire lifecycle. We're talking everything from secure creation and storage to managing who gets access, to rotating keys to prevent them from getting stale, and even making sure they're securely destroyed when they're no longer needed. It's the whole shebang.
And in the cloud world, the two biggest names you're going to hear are Amazon's AWS KMS and Microsoft's Azure Key Vault. Now, both of them offer really powerful, robust solutions for this exact problem, but, and this is the important part, they're built with fundamentally different philosophies.
Now, before we get into what makes them different, let's just take a quick look at where they overlap. Because, on the surface, they actually share a lot of the same core features. As you can see here, they both check all the essential boxes, right? They support both symmetric and asymmetric keys. They let you do automatic and manual key rotation. They have really granular access control, and they give you comprehensive auditing trails. They also both support what's called Bring Your Own Key, or BYOK, which is cool because it lets you import key material you've created yourself. But okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The critical differences are what will really drive your decision. So let's break down where these two services start to go their separate ways. So the most fundamental difference is really their scope. I want you to think of AWS KMS as this hyper-specialized, incredibly secure vault built for one thing and one thing only, managing your cryptographic keys. That's its job. In contrast, Azure Key Vault is more like a full-service bank. It has a high-security vault for your keys, for sure, but it also has safety deposit boxes for all your other sensitive stuff. Things like application secrets, passwords, API tokens, connection strings, and even your digital certificates. This is where compliance and the actual hardware security comes into play. And trust me, for any organization in a regulated industry, we're talking finance, healthcare, these details matter immensely. And here's where we see a key hardware differentiator. Both of these services rely on something called hardware security modules, or HSMs. These are basically specialized tamper-resistant computers built specifically to protect crypto keys. Now, they're certified under a government standard called FIPS 140, but the level is what's important. Standard Azure Key Vault is FIPS Level 2. AWS KMS, right out of the box, is FIPS Level 3, and that jump to Level 3 is a really big deal. It means the hardware is designed to detect physical attempts to break in and can actively respond, like by destroying the keys. To get that same Level 3 protection in Azure, you have to use their separate premium service, Azure Managed HSM. And that brings us to the tenancy model. Standard AWS KMS and Azure Key Vault are what we call multi-tenant. It's kind of like living in a really secure apartment building. Your keys are in your own locked room, but you're still sharing the building with other tenants. For organizations that need the absolute highest level of isolation, Azure's Managed HSM offers a single tenant model, which is like having your own private castle. It's dedicated hardware just for you. So with all these differences in mind, how do you actually decide? How do you make the call? Let's break down the main decision points. You should probably lean towards AWS KMS if you are deep in the AWS ecosystem. Its native integration with services like S3 or RDS is just seamless. If your top priority is specialized, best-in-class key management with that top-tier FIPS Level 3 compliance out of the box, and you like a simple pay-as-you-go model, AWS KMS is a very, very strong contender. Now, on the flip side, Azure Key Vault is going to be your champion if you're looking for that versatile Swiss Army knife to manage all of your sensitive information. Not just keys, but also secrets and certificates, all in one spot. If you're heavily invested in the Azure or Microsoft 365 world, or if you need that flexibility of different security tiers and that ultimate isolation of a dedicated single-tenant HSM, then Azure Key Vault is really built for you. But let's remember, no matter which service you end up picking, The technology is just one piece of the puzzle. As this quote really highlights, the tool is only as effective as the policies, the access controls, and the monitoring you build around it. Choosing the right tool is that critical first step for sure. But the ongoing mission, the thing you have to always be thinking about, is ensuring your entire key lifecycle strategy, from the moment a key is born to the moment it's securely destroyed, is rock solid and actively monitored. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.